Hello, history friends. This is the Civil Rights Assessment. Part 1 is a primary source reading. The background information says that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., an excerpt from Letter from Birmingham Jail. This was written in 1963. So it's written by Dr. King while he is in the Birmingham jail. Here's what he says. My dear fellow clergymen, while confined here in the Birmingham City Jail, I came across your recent statement calling my present activities unwise and untimely. Seldom do I pause to answer criticism of my work and ideas. If I sought to answer all the criticisms that cross my desk, my secretaries would have little time for anything other than such correspondence in the course of the day, and I would have no time for constructive work. But since I feel that you are men of genuine goodwill, and that your criticisms are sincerely set forth, I want to try to answer your statements in what I hope will be patient and reasonable terms. I think I should indicate why I am here in Birmingham, since you have been influenced by the view which argues against outsiders coming in. I have the honor of serving as president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, an organization operating in every southern state, with headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. We have some 85 affiliated organizations across the South, and one of them is the Alabama Christian Movement for Human Rights. Frequently, we share staff, educational, and financial resources with our affiliates. Several months ago, the affiliate here in Birmingham asked us to be on call to engage in a nonviolent direct action program if such were deemed necessary. We readily consented, and when the hour came, we lived up to our promise. So I, along with several members of my staff, am here because I was invited here. I am here because I have organizational ties here. But more basically, I am in Birmingham because injustice is here. Just as the prophets of the 8th century BC left their villages and carried their "Thus saith the Lord" far beyond the boundaries of their hometowns, and just as the Apostle Paul left his village of Tarsus and carried the gospel of Jesus Christ to the far corners of the Greco-Roman world, so am I compelled to carry the gospel of freedom beyond my own hometown. Like Paul, I must constantly respond to the Macedonian call for aid. Moreover, I am cognizant of the interrelatedness of all communities and states. I cannot sit idly by in Atlanta and not be concerned about what happens in Birmingham. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Never again can we afford to live with the narrow, provincial, outside agitator idea. Anyone who lives inside the United States can never be considered an outsider anywhere within its bounds. All right, we have 6 multiple choice questions that go with it. The first one says, who is the audience in Dr. King's letter? Who did he write this letter to? A, Supreme Court justices. B, other ministers or clergymen like himself. C, all whites in the South. Or D, fellow prisoners in the jail. Question 2. Which of the following is not a reason why Dr. King was in Birmingham? He was invited there. He has organized ties there. This is his hometown. Injustice is there. In the last paragraph, what does the word cognizant mean? Let's go back to the passage and see the whole sentence. Moreover, I am cognizant of the interrelatedness of all communities and states. What does cognizant mean? Aware, confused, confident, rebellious. Question 4. From the last paragraph, it can be inferred that Dr. King would most likely agree with which of the following statements? A. People whose families immigrated to America should be considered outsiders, and they should have no rights in America. B. Living in Atlanta, Georgia, means he does not need to be concerned with what is happening to African Americans in Birmingham, Alabama. C. Violent tactics should be used in Birmingham to get the civil rights leaders' message across to the Southern whites. Or D. Everyone who lives in America and is an American citizen should be afforded the same rights no matter what their race, gender, age, or where they live in America. Question 5. The overall tone of this passage can be described as serious, stern, that's A, serious and stern, B, joyous and excited, C, sad and depressed, or D, angry and violent. And then question 6, our last one. According to the passage, which of the following is not something that the Southern Christian Leadership Conference shares with its affiliates or groups? What is something they do not share? Staff, educational resources, uniforms, or financial resources? All right, the next part of the test is photo analysis. So here we see in the top photo a civil rights march with Dr. King in the front. Your second photo there on the left is women marching. On the right, we see Native Americans marching. Bottom left, we have the United Farm Workers marching. And then on the right, we have members from the LGBTQ plus community also marching. All of these photos are from varying movements throughout the 1950s and 60s. Question 7 asks, what do all of the photos have in common? Feel free to pause the recording so that you can write your answer down and then hit play when you're ready. Question 8 says, what is different about these photos? Question 9. What do these photos tell you about the time period of the 1950s and 60s in regards to the civil rights? And question 10. Why is it so important that all Americans have access to civil rights? All right, my friends, when you're done with that, we're on to the last section of the test. For this part of the test, you're going to choose 2 civil rights leaders to learn more about. You can choose from any of the 5 sections that are here. So in the top box are African American leaders, second box, women's movement leaders, Chicano movement leaders, American Indian movement leaders, and LGBTQ plus movement leaders. You can choose any 2. They can be from the same group, they can be from different groups. And then below, you're going to see what we need to fill out about them. So it says, choose 2 leaders from the list above to complete the following research about them, and then transfer it to a poster board. You can use your computers to type or print your information, and for pictures, use the space below to organize your research. So you can write it here on the test first, and then transfer over to the poster board that I will have ready for you. So we're going to write down the person's name, what movement or movements were they involved in. We need a picture of this leader, and we're going to print this. Question 4 says background information about this person. So just find me a couple facts about when were they alive, what was their family life like, what's their educational background, and why were they involved in this movement. And then your last question is what are they known for? What things did they accomplish during the civil rights movement? And we want to have 2 things for each leader. So this is leader 1, and then you'll come down here and you'll do it for leader 2. And then once you filled out this information on your test, you're going to transfer it with your photo over to the poster board. All right, when you're finished, we're going to turn this in. Thank you.